Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is our very final session before the wrap-up, so I guess you are pretty tired after a long day. We try to make it still interesting enough not to fall asleep. So, primarily I would like to introduce our dear panel members. Marina Papageorgiou, if I pronounced well. She's coming from Cyprus, from the Cyprus Institute. She's leading the Climate and Atmosphere Research Center and a very interesting project called ENVRINNOV. She will talk about it first. She has a background also in communication for several large EU projects, and she's also a certified coach, so I will be very interested about the personal and social aspects of innovation from her. Then we have Zsolt Pásztor, who is the executive director of Hungarian Premet Ltd, which is a Hungarian medical device provider company, right? But also the international director for Mediklaszter, a cluster of medical devices providers, manufacturers, and which is dedicated to collaborate, especially in innovation, right? And our third speaker is Ntorina Antoni. She's also Greek, I've just got to know, but she's based in Eindhoven, and she's a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Technology in Eindhoven, and her work centers on strategic decision making, stakeholder engagement, and she will tell us more about an interesting project called Cooperate. So very briefly, I will pass on the floor immediately to our speakers, but before that, allow me just a quick flashback of the Regional Innovation Scoreboard, and because all of our three speakers coming from very different regions in terms of innovation, right? In Hungary, we are rather in the emerging innovation field. In Cyprus, probably it's upgraded to moderate innovation region, while in the Netherlands, Eindhoven, you are strong or even innovation leader, right? So this background, and in addition, the ladies have a research, innovation, and university profile and background, while Zsolt has a chemical engineering background, right? I forgot to introduce myself, Kristina Dely. I have an economic and environmental economics background, and after 10 years in Brussels, I'm back to Budapest and also involved in a I3 project. It's called the GREET-C project, Green Transition in Central and Eastern Europe. Apologies. So, and all the three of them are coordinators of this project, which is probably a different engagement and the different challenges for all of them. So I will also ask them to talk about in their speech or after in the discussions, and you are also welcome to join this discussion. I will be very curious to see what will be the success criteria of actually winning this project. Actually, it's already a big success winning such a project in an emerging or moderate innovator region, right? And what are the special challenges linked with this coordination role, right? Then we will discuss about the key factors and steps, what can facilitate real-life connection of the research and innovation. So how can how can innovation connected between the SMEs, innovative SMEs with the public sector, right? And what are the new challenges associated with recent changes in the geopolitical, climate, technology fields? We've had quite a lot of time, a lot of things in the past years. And yeah, I think it's pretty a lot. I will remind you of these questions afterwards, but I give the floor now to Marina. Yes.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone. So we've prepared some slides. I'll just speak to them. As Kristina said, my name is Marina Papageorgiou. I'm from the Cyprus Institute. Here to talk to you in my capacity as coordinator of the ENVRINNOV project. So ENVRINNOV, what is it, first of all? So it stands for Environment, Research, Infrastructure, Innovation Strategy. And the project has set out to do just that. I'm just looking for the, oh, thank you. The project has set out to do just that. So coordinate a common innovation strategy for research infrastructures in the environment domain, and aiming to do that for research infrastructures across Europe. So to give a sense of the scale of the ambition of the project, that includes 26 research infrastructures that are in themselves associated with about 150 research performing organizations. So it's an ambitious goal. And what the project aims to do is bring together efforts that have been ongoing for a few years now from individual RIs and from other past projects working on aspects of innovation, and harmonize them, create some cohesion across their activities, and create a common strategy that would allow the RIs to increase their capacity on innovation, engage with the ecosystem, particularly the private sector, to meet the needs that exist in Europe on green transition and other technologies that need to be developed to be able to meet the scientific and policy challenges that we're facing and we've been discussing all through the day today. To be able to do that, a key aspect of the project is developing tools, common policies, and most importantly, the community, so the networks that will be able to support the implementation of the strategy after the end of the project. So we recognize that a strategy alone will not be able to bring any results, but planning during the project to set up a business model and a financing mechanism to be able to implement it after its end is a key goal. And what that means in practice for the project is leading with understanding the needs of the ecosystem and the gaps that exist in terms of technologies and innovations, that collaboration between the RI's activities on innovation and closer connection with industry could meet, both in terms of scientific needs, policy needs, and market needs. The other big component is building internal capacity for research infrastructures. So creating training, awareness campaigns, digital tools that can be used to enhance the capacity of ERICs and infrastructures in other stages of development, as well as putting a big focus on networks and community building. So by discussing with many of you during the break and just in general, we're all aware that collaboration between science and industry, closer collaboration, is key to accelerating innovation, but is not always easy. So one of the key aspects that we're trying to address is setting up a common vocabulary and getting the two sides, that we say, of innovation closer to each other and collaborating. And a key reason and a key approach for doing that is identifying win-win deals and situations where they can be brought together. And the idea is that doing all of this could lead to increasing European competitiveness in this area. When we were discussing this presentation with Kristina, one of the questions was, what do you think is one of the key success factors for the proposal? Because the project had only started in January this year, so I cannot talk of the success of the project, but I can talk of the success of the proposal. And again, going back into the question of the ecosystem and getting the ecosystem involved, starting with the ENVRI community, very important for us was having some sort of representing the complexity of the community. And that meant getting RIs involved from all 4 domains in the environment. And also getting representation from RIs at different stages of development because their needs and their complexities are different, as well as bringing in the RIs and organizations that had led either SAC coordinators or work package leaders past activities, so to build on the knowledge of the community. And as coordinator, I am from the Climate and Atmosphere Research Center of the Cyprus Institute, which is a teaming center of excellence that was established through the widening call, the European funding. And since doing that in 2020, we have been deeply involved in building place-based innovation within Cyprus at national level, at a regional level, and due to the focus of our center within the wider Eastern Mediterranean and Middle East region. So we are able to bring the experience of building collaboration within, let's say, complex and changing socio-political situations. As well as having, as an organization, RIs in different domains and close collaborations with them. So this was part of the recipe, let's say, that allow us to bring that together. And the other note I wanted to make in terms of the success of the proposal, but what we're trying to make a key component of the project as well, is focusing on the needs of the stakeholders that are involved and are needed to be able to build a strategy that is both useful and also usable. And to do that, we have to lead with why. Why should the different stakeholders care about this project, about a common strategy for innovation, about getting involved? How can getting them involved in this process benefit them? So what is the win for them? And then what can we do to actually realize it? And here I just have in this slide some of the real world impacts that have been foreseen for each type of stakeholder for being involved in the project. But this is also a key part of the implementation approach that we're changing to actually create something that matters and can be used and can be implemented after the end of the project. So I will keep it here for the interest of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. We will definitely have plenty of questions. Also, keep your questions. We might have some time to discuss afterwards in the panel. So you mentioned the complexity that you managed to involve in this project as a key success factor for winning this proposal. I pass on the floor immediately to Zsolt, who will talk about a very interesting I3 project, a capacity building project.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Zsolt Pásztor, and I represent Mediklaszter and also the community of the I3 Highs project that are represented here by several members by accident. Yes. Sorry. Yes. So this is Mediklaszter, and in fact, I will speak about this introduction or presentation about the successes of Mediklaszter. And for us, the success was to get involved in the international community and the international value chain. And also the successes of the I3 Highs project that started 1 year ago. And we already have tangible results. First of all, I would like to present Mediklaszter, which is a network of Hungarian medical device producers and service providers. Its mission is to provide state-of-the-art products and services. The cluster was funded in 2006 On the slide, you can see the gentlemen who played and still play a key role in the running of in the establishment and also in the management of the cluster. I think it's very important to note that we work on a voluntary basis, so it means that, and from the member fees, so we do not get any subsidy for our activity, which sometimes make it challenging and difficult. And well, you can value the results that we have reached so far in view of this. The cluster has 33 members, 5 universities and 2 research institutes. Concerning the geographical coverage, we have naturally 1 seat and in total 5 directorates, regional directorates. These the regional directorates cover the entire country. We have 2 working groups. One is 3D printing in the health sector, and the other one is artificial intelligence. Concerning the accreditations, in Hungary we were accredited already 4 times, and also we have the bronze label of the Cluster Excellence Award. And concerning the memberships, let's say until 2022 we were not very active, making alliances or just to limited extent. In 2022 we were founding members of the Hungarian Cluster Alliance, which became part of the member of the European Cluster Alliance. And 2024, I mean this year, was a very, might say, successful year for us in terms of international collaborations, because we became member of CBER. It was a nice story, by the way. Also, we joined the European Cluster Collaboration Platform and also the NoboCup community. And concerning the challenges, from the international point of view, in 2022, as I mentioned, we were not very active, so it was our activity and the presence was quite limited. We participated to a few expositions. Also, let's say, the cluster itself didn't have any international program or project. And well, few of the members participated in international research and development activities and projects. So the objective was to get involved in the international network. This was the challenge or the objective for the cluster itself, and concerning the members, to help them to be involved in international innovation project or in the international innovation value chain. I think a key element or a key point in the life of the cluster was the appointment of a director responsible for international relations. It's me, practically, and well, it resulted that this commitment and also this appointment that we became more active at international levels. And as I mentioned, we became members in different organizations, but also get involved in international projects. One of them is the I3 Highs. And it was also an interesting story. How did we became the leader of that project? And concerning the project, This is a project implemented in frame of the I3 Strand 2B capacity building call, and its objective is the boosting of the interregional cooperation in the innovation cooperation in the health sector. It has 9 partners from 6 countries. And what is, I think, interesting to see is that these partners and the countries somehow create a block because they are interlinked. This is quite rare, as I realized, in other IC projects. And here on the last slide, you can see the results that we have already achieved, primarily in relation to this or linked to the this I3 HICE project. And well, you can see that we have already submitted projects together, or at least a great majority of the partners was involved in a project related to Ukraine. This was a successful project. As Mediklaszter, we have another project that will be submitted tomorrow, or maybe has already been submitted today, for an I3 call also. We also submitted project where members and from Mediklaszter and also partners has been involved. We have also project where only the members are involved, but in any case the validation of the project and ecosystem building was supported by the project and the partners of the project. And one of them was submitted for an Eureka Smart call. And well, we are very proud that this project, in which, by the way, Premet is also involved, got the label. So we have the possibility, or had the possibility, to submit the national application. And the applications are at present under evaluation. So I think this, and also we have capacity building type activities, as I mentioned, like we developed services. We also have a peer review meeting, and well, this is just a coincidence that this peer review meeting will take place tomorrow and after tomorrow. So the coincidence of the two programs take place in parallel, and that's the reason that the colleagues from the project might be present in a greater number. Okay, very briefly.
Thank you very much, Zsolt. If I recall from our discussion, you didn't start with this project as leader, right? What are the challenges associated with?
Oh, okay, I can use this microphone.
And how did you become leader of this?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, it was an interesting story because, well, first we saw that the best is to join a consortium and to start our presence and activity in the international projects in this way. I tried to contact different international partners, but somehow we were not successful. In any case, we wanted to participate in the project and in this call and submit an application. So finally, we saw that we will try to organize a consortium ourselves. Unfortunately, we didn't have a good, how to say, network or appropriate network, but fortunately there was a lady, Agnes Frank, who had appropriate relations. We had a discussion with her, and she could mobilize his network. And I'm very grateful for the partners that we had a project idea, and they accepted this project idea and also supported us to, or even encouraged us to become a partner in this project. So finally we submitted the application, and it was a nice result that we could win it.
Thank you, Zsolt. Finally, after a thematic, let's say, on healthcare proposal, we come back to research. Eindhoven University again. Ntorina, you will talk us about the Cooperate project.
And sorry, Kristina, but I'll stand. I cannot speak with the slides on my back. And bear with me, I have a couple more slides, because I would like really to show some of the outcomes of our project. We thought this is the perfect audience to share some of our first results with you. So Cooperate project stands for Coordinating and Piloting Actions Toward Air Hubs as Inter- and Intra-Regional Ecosystem for Knowledge Production. And this project, the context for it is the Council conclusions of November 2021 on the governance of the ERA and Pact for R&I in Europe, but also the Action 15 of the ERA policy agenda, and the most recent new European innovation agenda of March 2024, which basically places the importance of ERA hubs for the European innovation landscape. Cooperate started in January last year, and it will be continuing until the June 2025. We are 7 partners. Eindhoven University is leading, also with Brainport Eindhoven from the Netherlands. And then we have 2 partners in Denmark, the Danish Technical University and the Science City Lyngby, Czech Technical University in Prague, STAM in Italy, and IDEA Consult in Brussels. The way that we define ERA Hub is basically a central access point which stimulates the knowledge flow among quadruple helix actors to foster excellent and sustainable place-based ecosystems. And what ERA Hub should do is provide a range of services to accelerate knowledge valorization and improve interregional collaboration. And how did we reach this definition? Basically, our methodology is based on a series of co-creation arenas. So we have conducted so far 13 co-creation sessions with participants from different disciplines and different sectors. We have completed our first piloting phase in Czech Republic in collaboration with the Danish and Dutch ecosystems. And we have launched our Call for Champions, which has been extended for 10 more days. So anyone who is interested can still apply for that. And this phase will end up in selecting 2 additional emerging ecosystems that we're going to validate the findings from the first piloting phase. And our objective is to issue policy recommendations for future policy measures in developing and strengthening the ERA hubs. The way we see ERA hubs is really centered, is putting the universities and the university-based intermediates in the center. We have identified 7 lines of action that every ERA hub should have in order to strengthen their ecosystems. And the reason that we have put universities in the center, because universities are in the better place to lead the first steps of a knowledge valorization flow, starting from knowledge production to knowledge transformation and knowledge valorization. And they're also in the best place to coordinate with the other quadruple helix actors along the knowledge valorization flows. In terms of what we have come up so far, we have these concrete tools in order to strengthen ERA hubs. The first one is a self-assessment tool that is aimed at measuring the ecosystem, the maturity of the ecosystem in ecosystem readiness level. And basically through this tool, we would like to identify the strengths and weaknesses of each ecosystem across the 7 lines of action. Then the playbook will basically offer a range of well-informed recommendations per each line of action, tailored to the needs of each ecosystem. And the toolbox will provide concrete tools in supporting basically each ecosystem in implementing the ERA Hub framework model. And all of these tools and the self-assessment one will be included in the ERA Hub platform, which basically will allow applicants and other stakeholders to have access to these tools, but also the possibility to connect to other ecosystems and learn from each other. And this is for us a very important finding, that ERA Hubs should be seen as a process. We heard it earlier in the previous panel that innovation is about the process. So this is really about a learning process where universities will be leading and coordinating the actors in this platform. What is the self-assessment tool about? Basically, we have selected a set of KPIs per line of action, and our way of implementing is really assessing the maturity level based on the continuum of networking stages, starting from basic networking to coordinated networking to loose coordination for compatible goals, and then joint activities and co-creation for collaboration. So this is the spectrum of maturity of ecosystems. And then I would like to leave you with that, and would really like to hear from you what you think of our findings so far. You can find more information about our project if you follow the QR code, and I look forward to the discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ntorina. When listening to you, and all of you, I had a question on the challenges you have faced or you have been facing. For example, connecting this research ERA hubs and getting down really to those at the end of the innovation value chain. For example, getting this to SMEs or innovative SMEs, how you can connect with them and how you can involve them into this work. That's one of my questions. How do you think, within your region, how do you think the local mentality influences these innovations, and also your work as coordinators of these projects? We've heard in the former session that the local mentality influences the local, well, we know by ourselves as well, but it was mentioned in the former session that influences the local innovation ecosystems. And since we are in different regions, from emerging, moderate to innovation leadership, how do you feel this influences your daily work in this project, and also your challenges as consortium leaders? For example, local mentality, I'm thinking of different personalities, also personality and teamwork, but if you have any reflection on this, I don't know who wants to go first. Yes, Marina?
Thanks for that question. I would say that, of course, culture and cultural specificities play a role, but in our case, we found that, you know, one of the key challenges to unlock is how to get scientists and industry players to collaborate better together and do it more often, and do it for the benefit of the economy and the environment and knowledge and innovation. And this is a challenge that seems to transcend borders, perhaps with the exception of some innovation, with some regions that are leaders on innovation, and these partnerships are already established, and the benefits for doing that are already well known. It seems to be that this question of how to unlock the potential between the collaboration of industry and science more closely seems to be one that is consistent across regions, and this is why this is a key focus for us within the context of the project.
Okay, so may I continue? Thank you. Concerning the project, the leadership of the project, well, we were, let's say, the cluster itself was a newcomer because we didn't have an international project before, but the persons who works for the cluster, has a sound experience, in certain cases, 20 years of experience in managing EU-funded projects, so it was not a problem for us. And the partners are all experienced, so we didn't have such kind of difficulties at all. On the map you could see that more or less we are from the same block or the surrounding countries, so the mentality more or less the same, so we didn't create any problem neither. Concerning the challenges, what I see is that, and this is on one hand at national level and also at international level, is that how to collaborate or develop a good collaboration at regional level between the actors of the quadruple helix. Because what I can see is that, for example, Mediklaszter also has a good network, both in Hungary and now we can say internationally as well. This is same for the universities, so they have or their own network, international network. What is missing, in fact, and also the innovation agencies in Hungary have certain networks, the government institutions have their network, but what is really missing is the regional collaboration between these actors, for example, in Hungary. So that's the reason, for example, the topic of the peer review meeting that we will have tomorrow is how to improve the collaboration between the different actors in one region. I think it's very, very important to collaborate on one hand to share information what they collect in their network. So this is one thing, to harmonize our activity. Or, for example, we could see or hear today in the previous panel session that the National Innovation Agency provides certain services for the companies. So it's good to know what are the services they provide, because it means that as a cluster we do not have to develop those services, because we can rely on those services. So I think this is a very important challenge that we have to address to improve the regional collaboration between the actors. And maybe if I also add an additional challenge is to run a cluster or a non-profit organization without any funding, just from voluntary work and member fees. So this can be done to a certain extent, but I would say this is not sustainable. And if the clusters are important players of this quadruple helix collaboration, I think they could also be supported to a certain extent. I learned that the situation in other Eastern European and Central European countries is similar. I mean, they do their activities without any funding, contrary to the organizations in Western Europe, where roughly 50% of the budget comes from state or regional fundings. So I think this should also be changed and improved.
Thank you. I don't know, Ntorina, if you want to reflect on this, or maybe just add something, because you are the only region, like a innovation leader region you're coming from. So what do you think towards the end of, or the second part of the project, what concrete results do you see, or what do you see, what would be your advice to these regions or more emerging or moderate innovators region, SMEs, how they could get better into the international innovation value chains? What would be your advice?
I think that your question relates to the first one, because that's also very context specific. So what we've seen from our project, we cannot really compare the different regions. Eindhoven as you said, is leading, and when what we figured out also from our first piloting phase and talked to our Czech partner and the stakeholders there, is that we talk about quadruple helix and the importance of involving them in research to bridge research and innovation communities. However, one of the main challenges that they encounter there, that they don't even experience triple helix collaborations. So it's a completely different basis if we compare our experience with the Czech Republic and Brainport Eindhoven. However, at the same time, Brainport was mentioned this morning as an example of success. However, the reason that it has reached there, it's also very context and historically embedded to its own crisis as a region that has gone through in order to reach the level now of basically having such a close research, having such close linkages to industry. Not only we produce scientific research that is immediately translated into practical insights and also products and services that can be marketable, but we also train talent that is immediately retained in the region, and that's one of the biggest successes. So that's why we also think in this project, and that's why we support that Era Hubs should be this platform that allows universities to lead the innovation process, the knowledge valorization flows in more regions, and that could be a way from other less advanced regions, like the one that we have piloted so far, to learn from each other, to perhaps not immediately extrapolate the best practices from one region to another, because that, as I said, that will be context specific, but learn from each other and perhaps use certain programs that can help the knowledge transfer and talent transfer from one region to another.
Thank you, Ntorina. This reminds me of the former sessions we had. One of the para sessions we had here. The colleagues from University of Miskolc and Szeged, they were telling about that the biggest issue for them is retaining minds in their regions. So maybe that's a nice. One of the nice conclusions from our panel now. For the moment, I would let our speakers discuss and network, because that's why we are here, after the wrap-up session. I think we are pretty tired we're looking at you. And before moving to the next session, I would like to thank you very much for your excellent attention during the day. Even during the last session, and I would like to invite you maybe a little bit reorient your attention to our project, if I may, about the Great Sea project, and let us know your questions. What we really try here is to link innovative SMEs in the field of the green energy transition, make them talk together, build their capacities, and I invite you to have your reactions and questions there. Thank you very much for your attention.